Moving on to our next question, and that is for you, Dr. Ran. What mental health problems can continuous stress may also lead to?
Okay, so mental health has been, stress has been linked to many mental health issues, mainly depression and anxiety, because now let's all agree on one point, which is stress is normal. It's a normal emotion, and it's important for everyone to feel stress from time to time. However, when stress becomes continuous and when we can no longer control stress in our lives, this is when it becomes a real issue. So a lot of people who really who were not able to control stress developed anxiety, generalized anxiety, and eventually depression. So yeah, it's been linked. And may I here add one point for like a tip or to continue what Katerina was saying concerning the transition from school to university. I really remember on my first day at university, a professor told us that the more rapidly that we are able to adapt, the better we will achieve. So the first day I didn't understand. I was 18 and I really didn't understand what he was saying. But as I grew up, I really felt that what he is saying is true. The more we adapt quickly, the more we are able to achieve and feel more relaxed and more focused. So also it would be really important for parents to teach their kids to really adapt and not only be comfortable in our comfort zone. I think this will truly help kids, especially in universities, to feel less stressful and to be more responsible and function better.
Very interesting indeed. Adapt quickly and important for parents to teach kids how to adapt. Again, the question is how do parents do that? We'll come back to that. Kanika, according to you, what are signs of good mental health?
Sure. I think I definitely don't come from a medical background, but then being as a teacher and conducting these classes, there are a few clues that I really look for. So when I'm teaching a small class or even a personalized session, one of the things I am always checking in with the student is, what is your readiness to learn today? Are you ready to kind of progress to the next level or the next pose, or kind of take on new things? And I think the readiness to accept change or to try new things gives me a clue that they feel excited, they want to take on challenges, and they're not stressed about their current state. The second thing that tells me that they are feeling good about themselves is, even on a low day, when they come to my class and they open up and share whatever they're feeling, it could be negative, positive, ugly, beautiful, whatever the feeling is, when they present it and open up to me, that's when the self-realization, I think Katerina talked about it as well as Dr. Reine said, being self-aware. When they can share their feeling, I think that's the point where my student knows they are stressed, and the realization of it is step one towards addressing the stress problem. And I think the last one would be, whenever I do that a lot with my students, whenever they're doing a particular pose, I'll tell them, let's hold it for 30 seconds. And then when I see them doing good, I might say, let's bump it up, let's add another 15 seconds. And students who feel really stressed might not accept it and, leave the pose, or, maybe exhale out really frustratedly and stuff. Those are signs that I pick on. So a student who blends in with the new instructions and adapts quickly to the new change that I've just recommended, I think that's a good sign that they're feeling good about how the class is going or how their mental status is.
Excellent. So Arlene, can you take a question, because you look like you're traveling countries right now?
I'm good to talk, no worries. I just got to my next class.
Okay, so I'll pause the question. I'll pass on the next one. So Madhuri, would you also like to comment on signs of good mental health? Your take on it?
Yeah, it shows a lot in how students take feedback in personal classes or even in a group setting. For example, if they're making a particular mistake and I happen to tell them that, okay, look, this is how it was supposed to be done, the way that they respond to it or the way that they react to it really shows how much of stress they're taking on that particular thing or whether they are open to incorporating whatever is being advised to them in terms of solving questions. So that really is one way. Another is people make repeating the same mistakes again and again, and then every time it's pointed out, you either hear a sigh or you hear some dejection in their voice. That also comes on to show that yeah, they're probably going through a lot of stress with this particular regard, and then try speaking to them in that regard.
Okay. So coming back to Arlene, we are good to go. Okay, so my question to you is, what has been your stress response? How important is it to vent when you're stressed?
For me, when I'm stressed, what I tend to do is just take a lot of time for self-care. I mean, especially when all my classes fill up and it seems like there's a million things I need to do. What I like to do is honestly just take a nap. I think I'm very sleep deprived being a university student. And so honestly, I think not a lot of us take the time to just exist, whether it be like just doing something we love doing, like origami or playing a sport. You know, when we are stressed and feeling anxious and just overloaded with all this pressure, we tend to forget the things that we enjoy doing. And so I like to remind my friends, go do something that makes you feel happy, makes you feel inspired, that gives you purpose that you enjoy doing. Because when we are overloaded by work or school or pressures from the family, you know, it can be really easy to forget the things that make us smile and the things that make us happy. So that's what I would do, especially in my case, because honestly, being back in a learning environment, being back in person at school, it's very anxiety inducing. I don't think a lot of university students really recognize how great of an accomplishment it is for us to be here after having a majority of last year being all online. And to transition from a virtual learning environment to an in-person takes a lot of work because we don't remember what it's like to be in a lecture hall full of students or to make those personalized connections with our teachers and professors and figure out which study methods work best. You know, we're really having to reinvent ourselves so that we can succeed in a post-COVID world. So it's necessary for us to go ahead and be kind to ourselves, forgive ourselves often. You know, we're the first, I think, of many generations that have never lived through a pandemic. So there is no right or wrong way to cope with that. And so that's what I do when I'm stressed. I just remember that we're all in this together. It's not just me. There are millions of other people across the globe feeling the same emotions and uncertainty and confusion as I am. So just as long as we keep that in mind, you know, we'll still stay strong and we'll get through this together.
Brilliant. I think one of the best solutions, just take a nap or practice origami. Very relevant. Excellent.